YouTubers, your buddy Platt, and today we're starting a new part of our wine series. We're going to start talking about red wine varietals, and might as well start off with the granddaddy of them all. Think the Chardonnay of red wine, and that's Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon is quite possibly the most recognized red wine varietal in the world. It's grown in most sections of the world. Old world wine regions, new world wine regions, Canada, Lebanon. It's all over the place. Where Cabernet gained its fame was being kind of the base or the main wine in classic Bordeaux red wines, where it's blended with Merlot and Cabernet Franc. And it's from Cabernet Franc that it's believed this grape got it started. It's believed to be a crossing of the Cabernet Franc grape and the Sauvignon Blanc grape. And this was done in France, southern part of France. It was believed in the 1700s. One of the great things about Cabernet Sauvignon, as far as the vineyards are concerned, is it's an easy grape to grow. Has a thick-skinned grape, hardy vines. It tends to bud late in the season, which means it misses some of the late frost that sometimes we'll get other wine varietals. The grape itself produces a full-bodied wine that is high in tannins and noticeably acidic. If you're new to wines and haven't heard the term tannins, we really haven't used that much in red wines or in white wine. This tends to be more of a red wine thing, and that's why I thought this would be a perfect time to discuss that. Tannins are found in the skin, the seed, and the stems of grapes. And what tannins will cause, especially a highly tannic wine, is that drying sensation in your mouth. The more that sensation you get, the more tannic this wine is. Some people say that sometimes a little bit of bitterness. If you've ever tried grappa, which is a unaged brandy produced by the second pressing of those grapes, however, you tend to pick up a lot of those tannins in the product, and you really notice it there. Tannins aren't exclusive to just grape skins. You can find them in other food products. One of the most noticeable is dark chocolates, but tannins are something we're going to run across in all these wine varietals in some various level, and we'll discuss that. But if you're new to the concept of tannins, that's what that's about. Besides the tannins, like I said, this wine is noticeably acidic, and it's that acidity that helps Cabernet be great for aging. This wine does real good aging-wise, and it loves to age with oak. Cabernet and oak work real well together. When you age Cabernet, it tends to pick up on, when you age it with oak, in oak you tend to pick up vanilla, spice. Also, the wood itself interacts with the tannins in the grape, and it kind of opens up things. One of the things you'll get sometimes in a Cabernet is a tobacco note, however, and it's that interaction with the wood and the grapes that happen, or it helps bring that out. Also, it tends to oak will soften the wine. Like I said, this is a full body wine. It'll help soften that a little bit if it's too young and a little too much for you. Cabernet is also a great blending wine. Besides Merlot and Cab Franc, like it's used in Bordeaux wines, it's also blended with Malbec, Shiraz, Sangiovese. If you want to take a red wine grape that's a little softer, a little lighter, want to give it a little body, Cabernet is that grape you would blend in with that. Couple of unique characteristics that you might find in some Cabernets that are a little off. You'll sometimes pick up a note of green bell pepper on some, and that's usually from underripe grapes that were picked. If a Cabernet you get sometimes a little jammy, like fruit jam, that is from overripe grapes. Now, this all, again, depends on length of the time on oak and certain climatic things or regional differences, but Those are just general trends. If you get that bell pepper, you know, you might have been picked a little early. Food pairing wise, Cabernet, like I said, it's a fuller bodied wine. This great example of bigger wine, heartier food. Lighter wine, lighter foods. Cabernet does real good with bigger meat dishes. Your braised short ribs, a veal chop. Also stands up well to a little heartier cheeses, maybe a Swiss Gruyere or something like that. The particular wine we're going to try today is the Happy Camper 2016 Cabernet Sauvignon. Comes at 13.2% alcohol by volume. The company itself was founded in 2005. Now, when I was looking for a Cabernet to do this the other day, this one I didn't pick this one because I saw, you know, real high wine magazine scores or anything like that. I saw something on the back and I thought this would be a great chance to talk about it. This particular Cabernet on the back of the label says it contains sulfates. If you're new to wines, again, this is something that's going to be new to you. What sulfates are is basically it's sulfur dioxide, and it's used to help preserve wine. The minute we open this wine, oxygen is going to rush in the bottle and be exposed to the wine. The wine's going to start to oxidize. Now, here in an hour from now, you're really not going to notice much difference. Maybe tomorrow you're not going to know much difference. But here 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you're going to notice a difference. And that wine's going to go bad from being exposed to oxygen. Now, the only problem is, with these winemakers, well, we're going to have a little gap of air in there. And this thing's going to set X amount of time in the vineyard, then it's going to go to the distributor. So they don't know how long it's going to get from that vineyard till it gets to me. And it's going to have that little bit of air in there. And they can't be oxygen or it starts to oxidize. So what a lot of companies do is they will inject it with sulfur dioxide because it's an antioxidant that will help preserve the wine. Now, is it a bad thing? That's the next question. It depends. I did read a stat where it said between 5 and 10% of asthma patients do get a severe reaction to sulfites or sulfur. So obviously you'd want to avoid that. There are believed to be some other ailments where sulfurs kind of tweak those or, you know, might cause some kind of harm. That being said, sulfites are not just used in wine. They're in a lot of food products. Actually, red wine contains less of the sulfurs than things like dried fruit you might buy at a store or French fries even. So, depending on your level of health consciousness, this may or may not be that big a deal. But I wanted to talk about the subject and I wanted to kind of let you know, and that's up to your decision. For me, I'm still drinking it, so let's give her a try. All right, just even on the nose, I can tell there's a little body to it. I do get a little, I don't want to say the buttery Chardonnay sense, but there's something like that to it. Definitely some dark fruit. I don't get much oak or anything like that on it. Then this is a 2016, still fairly young compared to some of the other cabs or whatever you're going to see on the market. Let's give her a try. Low fruit on the front. Not too much of that dryness or drying out. Not a lot of tannins per se. Hits the side of the tongue a little bit. Decent length of finish. Kind of slowly works my way back. I do get a little of the mouth-watering acidity. from that. I'm going to say compared to other Cabernet Sauvignons I've tried, this one's a little softer. That being said, though, that makes it a little more approachable. I don't get the tobacco that you would on a bigger cab. This thing has plenty of body. Overall, a nice wine. I'm kind of, to be honest, was wishing for a little more complexity, or the Cabernets I want to be a little bolder, and this one is not it. But still, like I said, still has enough body, still has a decent finish. Again, this would stand up to most beef dishes out there, however. One thing is, with these cabs, you wouldn't necessarily want to drink with spicy dishes. They tend to be higher alcohol wines, and you don't want to be constantly sipping to cool off. It might get you in a little trouble. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comment section, or you can contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.